So I went online to try to find the cheapest digital camera I could find. And when I say cheap, I mean cheap. This thing was only 10 bucks. But listen, maybe, just maybe, I can make something cool with this. I guess we'll have to find out. Let's get to it.
For those of you who may be new here, my name's Ian. I'm a content creator. I just try to do everything all over the place. I'm on Instagram. Now I'm focusing on YouTube a little bit. So maybe this is your first time seeing this video. Maybe you are a subscriber before. But if you're new and you want to follow along with this stuff, subscribing will be awesome. It helps everybody out. So I had this idea to take this digital camera here. I looked online to try to find the cheapest digital camera I could possibly find. And through everything I looked at, it was only like $9.50 or something like that. And it's funny because this is pink. There were blue, and I think there might have been a yellow one as well, but the pink was the only one that was available. And the quality, which you guys will see later on, is not good at all. I mean, this is a children's camera. There's games on here. You can play the Snake, I think. There's also Tetris. But I thought it would be fun to try to make content with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record video with this. I'm also going to take photos with it as well. But I'm going to record video with this, and I'm going to upload the video into Final Cut Pro, and I'm going to show you what it looks like absolutely raw. I'm not going to touch it whatsoever. I'm just going to put it in the video. But then I'm going to try to actually record video with it and edit the video, just to see if we can make something salvageable from whatever this thing produces. All right, let's just see what this thing puts out. Let's go.
I mean, honestly, that wasn't really that bad. It's not as bad as I was expecting. Holding it in the camera and recording and seeing what it looked like on the screen versus what it looks like on my computer and like Final Cut Pro, it's a little bit of a difference. And again, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But what I want to do now is I'm going to try to enhance it just to see if I can make anything happen in Topaz. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'm going to do a little side by side so we can compare. All right, so from what you can see from the side-by-side, it's not a drastic difference. Again, honestly, I'm kind of surprised. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the raw footage and just swipe that to the left. I'm actually going to try to edit that enhanced footage and maybe, dare I say, try to color grade it or anything like that. And then just kind of see what that looks like. So what we're going to see next, me trying as hard as I can to try to make that look drastically different from that raw footage that just comes right out of the camera. It's still not looking that bad. I mean, this isn't footage that I would like want to use for anything, but for what this little camera was, for being 10 bucks, it's not terrible. I'll just say that. But now what I want to do is I want to try to absolutely cook this footage.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for. The
Now that looks exactly how I thought it was going to, kind of just pushing the limits and even taking it further to where it just looks like absolute trash. I mean, you could tell that was thrown through AI 3 or 4 or 5 times, and it's absolutely cooked. But now what I want to do is I want to test out maybe some low lighting. So I'm going to film a little bit here in my office, and then I'm going to wrap this video up.
This looks like absolute shit. Oh, I see there is it records from the back too. There's a camera in the back. This camera in the back actually seems to be better, honestly.
I'm not even sure what this audio sounds like because I'm just talking. It kind of looks like a Game Boy, to be honest. Like the Game Boy footage. You remember that? This camera, like I said, claims to be a 12 megapixel 1080p camera, but I'm going to actually try to find out exactly what is inside here, because from what I see now, this is just bad. And then after all of that, and I'm going to give this camera a review, and if you should even buy it. I mean, is it even going to be worth it?
So as far as like an honest review goes with this camera and what you could do with it or why you should buy it, and honestly, I doubt anybody actually looking for this camera review may come across this video. To me, this was just something fun and interesting to do, just because I was basically curious. But as far as like an honest review goes for this, like I said, this was under $10. This comes with a 32 gig mini SD card. So that alone is worth it. But then again, the brand there wasn't even a brand name on it. It just said 32 gigabytes. If you wanted to get your child a toy camera that made noise, 100% worth it. This thing was absolutely garbage when it moved. If you remember when I had this sitting still in my office, which was a little bit low light, that footage was better than the footage that was outside in bright natural light. And the second that I moved this camera to record, it was absolute trash. And kids are, moving around, so I wouldn't really expect any photos or video that your child would take would be anything worth a damn. But if you wanted to get your kid a toy camera so they can play with it that makes noise, much like if you're playing a video game and your brother or sister or your child wants to play with you, you give them the junky controller that's not plugged in. This is exactly what this is. So what I did with the footage that I took at the park, I ran it through a few passes through Topaz, tried to sharpen it up in Final Cut Pro. Basically did all that I could before it started to look like AI, like garbage. Now, the audio of me talking in my office with this, I had the raw audio first, and then I enhanced the audio, cleaned it up towards the end of that video. So the difference of that is night and day, and you can definitely tell. There's no way to actually know what's inside of here because there's a dime a dozen of these. So you can't really specifically find this one. And if you do, I mean, drop a comment, let me know. But what I think is super funny about this is the photos that they attach to their listing to kind of say what you can take with this, because they are definitely not taken with this camera. 100%. If you really, 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 really want this, I'm going to put a link in the description. Maybe you want to do your own experiment as well. I actually tried to hook this up to a gimbal, but it was too light to even do anything. So it did nothing. And more or less, it was just to make it even sillier than this was in general. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. And other than that, I'm out.